everybody. Welcome to day 3 of our October Horror Month Spectacular. Today I'm reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 3. Pretty good. We'll get to all this in the grading part, but it suffered a little bit because it kinda... a little bit of the same of some things from the last one. Which, if you're a sequel, yeah, you need a little bit to keep your audiences in, but I count off for too much of the same. I'm kind of a movie snob. Okay, so recap opening, get you back into the game, let you know what happened at the end of the last one, shows you like the last 5 minutes of the last one, 5 to 10 minutes. Pamela Voorhees is never not creepy. Especially when it's just a floating head talking to Jason. It's just never uncreepy. I'm sorry for the actress, but, yeah. Then we get to the title sequence, and you see 80s 3D. Oh my god, I wish I could actually watch this in 3D, because there is so much implied 3D. Like, I have this pole. I'm gonna point it at the camera. Oh no, I have a rake in me. Let's point it at the camera. One girl gets speared in the eye, and it just comes straight at the camera. I wish I could have seen this in 3D, especially back in the day, because that would have been awesome. The theme music that they have is very 80s. It's like, it kind of sounds like that video game Chalkin' from back in the day. It's too upbeat, almost, for a Friday the 13th movie. I need a little bit more doom and gloom. Not as much Power Rangers. The news says they found 8 bodies at the camp, but 10 people died. I'm trying to think if there's anyone they could have maybe not found at the end. I don't know. The Harold shop owner guy, I liked him, but his hygiene made me want him to die in the movie. He eats fish food. He's carrying a giant rabbit around his grocery store, eating random things out of stuff, drinking out of juice that someone else is going to be purchasing. Horrible hygiene. Also, bunny massacre. A snake gets into a bunny cage. And apparently, it scares the crap out of him, because the very next scene we get is him sprinting through the house doing the poo-poo run, and a very overly graphic poop scene. Not so much graphic like you see it, graphic like the noises. We hear pooting and plopping. Don't think we needed that. Whoever directed this one, he died with poo in his pants, because he got a meat cleaver to the chest, and he pulled him into a closet instantly. I really think that Jason has just been taking a lot of notes from Solid Snake, because the way he kills some people in this, just into the closet. Oh, the 3 bikers that show up, he offs them one by one, and like hides the bodies afterwards. Again, there's just so much implied 3D in this, just, it's ridiculous. The cops who passed them up on the road, they stop at the place where Harold and his wife died, and they look like a modern day reboot of Chips. Ponch, and then John is a black guy. Oh my god, they have a new crazy guy. My heart still hurts for Ralph not being there. This guy's good. He's got an eyeball. He went past the murder scene and stole an eyeball. It's crazy. And then he said, "This is an omen. I'm here to warn thee. I have warned thee." He's crazy. New main character, this Chris girl, starts off even more promising than the last one. It's like their main characters are getting better, every one. And I like it. She has mountains of backstory. Just crazy backstory. Only one gripe with it is she has a connection to Jason. I like that. She got attacked in the woods between the first and second movie. And yeah, that's cool. But how did she survive? It doesn't ever say. Jason drags her off into the woods, and she just wakes up in her own bed. very small gripe with what otherwise is my favorite backstory for a character so far. I mean, the other ones didn't really have a backstory. There was Alice, who was a camp person. There was Jenny from the second one, who had a background in child psychology. She used it against Jason, who in the second movie is regarded as a 10-year-old trapped in a grown man's body. I'm not going to use the term that they used to describe him, but it's not... I don't like that as a description for Jason. Like I said, I like him. He's mentally aware. He's like MacGyver, Batman, Solid Snake, and a serial killer. He's good and smart. Oh, and they finally introduced one of my favorite character archetypes into the series, the token nerd. Also can be... Well, this one it's a double whammy because it's also the token fat guy. It's one of my people. He's an actor. He has lots of props and plays lots of pranks on people. He's funny and a sad story. Also, they have two stoner characters in this, and I'm not just saying like they had beatniks in the last one who look like they might get high. These two, the first time you see them, are in the back with bongs, smoking up the van so much that you think it's on fire. The first real prank Shelley plays on them is he falls out of a closet with an axe in his head, and they think he's dead. And his roommate is just like, tickle, 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 and he's like, tee hee 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 hee. And everybody's like, you're not dead, you're a jerk. And he stands up, and he pulls the axe off of his forehead. And it has a little bit of Jufro on it. Like, matches his hair, the curliness and the color. That is dedication. That's not just like a fake axe that you plant there. It had a little bit of wig to go on it. It was fantastic. It made me laugh. I liked it. Also, there may have been a tiny bit of racism in this movie. The Hispanic girl, Vera, she goes to a convenience store with Shelley at a later point in the film. They get in there and the clerk is like, we don't take no damn food stamps. She's like, that is all the money I have because I'm a stereotype. And then Shelley, because he's a stereotype, tosses her his wallet. And then the bikers come in, they take the wallet, they cause trouble for Shelley and Vera, and Shelley runs over their motorcycles. Which is how the bikers end up at the camp and end up murdered. So Shelley ended up killing 3 people, basically. Then, of course, they have the obligatory bikini scene, as in all of them. Actually, I don't know. There's no nakedness in this that I know of. Well, I mean, there's one time when the pregnant chick's in the shower, but they didn't really do it this time. I like that. It's a little bit more mature. And the bikers learn that being nosy in this universe gets you cut. Or gets you impaled by a pitchfork. Or beaten with a wrench. This movie wastes way less time than number 2 did. Jason's offing people right from the beginning. He just continuously throughout the movie. I mean, the second one did a little bit, but he's just... When Jason starts dropping them in this movie, they go like flies. Like back to back to back. I guess they were all in a small house, and he was just, well, might as well. Oh, God. The boyfriend guy. He wears a Pamela Voorhees sweater for some reason. It's not the same design, but it's basically the same color and idea of the sweater she was wearing. He just has a plaid shirt under it. Also, I think they made the stoner guy too much of a stoner. Like, he goes to the bathroom at one point and lights up on the toilet. The stoner guy is also afraid of the dark, which probably because he's getting high all the time. Pregnant girl reads a Fangoria magazine, which I thought was funny. Didn't know that was even out at the time. Of course, I don't know much about Fangoria magazine. I've only read 1 issue. But yeah, another example of Jason taking notes from Solid Snake. Rick goes outside to investigate, because he's freaking Fred from Scooby-Doo at this point. Chris looks outside like, Rick, you out there? And you see around the corner, Jason's got him held like, shh, I'll be over soon. Jason's a freaking commando in this one. He's almost up to his level of kill that we've known from his most iconic pieces. Also, another storm, getting to be a pattern. No rain this time, but a severe windstorm that keeps blowing open doors. And finally, it's one of the saddest deaths in the whole thing, but it gives Jason his mask. Finally gets the hockey mask. 3 red triangles, and it just makes me happy. Being a horror movie nerd, it's like candy. You see it and you're like, ooh, goody, stuff's happening now. So, third act started. Everyone is dead but Chris and Jason and the leader of the biker gang, but he's not there yet. Jason corners Chris in a closet, and her dead ex-pregnant friend. Also, they killed a person in a wheelchair the last time, and this time they killed a freshly pregnant girl. She didn't have the bulge. She wasn't that kind of pregnant, but she was pregnant. Come on. Like, what are they going to kill next time? A blind kid? A deaf girl? We'll see. I'm doing that one tomorrow. This Chris girl can kick more ass than the other two. It was fun to watch. She beats the crap out of him. She sees the pregnant friend laying there, and there's a knife through her throat, and she's just like, well, gotta do what I gotta do. Pulls the knife out. Jason comes in, stabs him in the hand. Jason grunts in this one. She stabs him in the hand, and he's like, "Marr!" And then she stabs him in the knee, and he's like, "Marr!" And then she's slashing and chasing him through the hallway. Because apparently this girl has a high level of crazy in her. And she's chasing him, he's like, And she's like, and I think, oh no, she chases him back through the hallway and then stabs him in the knee. And he falls down. And she goes to run, and he pulls the knife out and throws it like a freaking ninja. Where did he learn to throw a knife? Living in the woods. Like, I mean, I understand hunting, but throwing a knife is not a viable hunting option. She almost hits him with a van after that. They get into the barn. She knocks his ass out with a shovel and then hangs him. Puts a noose around him, shoves him off the top of the barn, and just... The final fight between those two is one of the most satisfying of any of them. Like, she opens up the doors, and he's dangling there, and she's like, oh, it's all over. And he's like, nope. One hand grabs, pulls himself up, takes the noose off, pulls the mask up. She sees it's the disfigured man that she was attacked by in the woods 2 years ago. And she starts screaming. She's just like, no, that's not possible. That makes no damn sense. And he drops down, puts the mask on, starts coming after her. Picks up the machete. It's iconic as crap. And then Ali, the leader of the biker guys who just got beat with a wrench before, wasn't dead. Pops out of nowhere. Tries to rough up Jason a little bit. Doesn't work. Automatically gets his hand cut off. And then taken down, and Jason's just whacking him with a machete. And then Chris decides, okay, I'm going to put an end to this right now. Sees an axe, picks it up, runs at him, and it is one of the most iconic things that I've seen in these movies. It's just awesome and satisfying, and turns around, and she, right there. Well, the camera's flipped, so right there. Right in his head. Just... And he drops the machete, and she's like, oh, it's over. And then he's like, and goes to try to come at her, and she's like, no! And then he falls over dead. Well, he falls over. If you don't watch the fourth one, and then you end him at the third one, it's like he's dead. But, I mean, if you watch the fourth one, he actually dies at the end of that one. Spoiler. We'll talk about that tomorrow. It was just satisfying, and like I said, very iconic kill. And then, what the hell? Pamela Voorhees jumps out of the water at the end with her head back, and Nightcrawler's coming out of her. I know, it's like the end of the first one, it's a dream, because you see that the cops are there, Chris is the only survivor, and you see when they put her into the back of the cop car, she has lost her damn mind. She is bat crap crazy now. I mean, yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's a realistic reaction. Okay, on to the kills. There was Harold, the unhygienic shop owner. He got a meat cleaver to the chest, pulled him to the closet like Solid Snake. His wife, Edna, the awful, horrible person. She got a knitting needle through the back of her neck. There was Fox, the lady of the biker gang. She got pitchforked in the neck and then nailed to an I-beam in the ceiling area of the barn. And the little crazy dude, who's always smoking even though he's holding a freaking gas can, he gets impaled by another pitchfork while he's reeling from what he's just seen that Fox is dead. Stabs, and then he gets thrown on Ali, who gets beaten with a wrench. Ali doesn't die there. Then there's the Vera girl. She drops Shelly's wallet into the lake, and she goes to get it, turns around. gets freaking spear gunned in the eye. And then Shelly, presumably sometime around there, got his throat cut. Andy, while walking on his hands, was cut in half the bad way up to his navel. Poor old pregnant Debbie girl got a knife through the back of her neck, Kevin Bacon style, while she's laying reading Fangoria on a hammock. Stoner Chuck gets chucked into a fuse box and electrocuted. His wife, or whatever she was to him, Chili, she gets a fire poker ran through her after she discovers that everyone in the house is dead. Rick gets taken out very silently, like he's holding them, and then the girl goes in, and he's just like, I'm gonna squeeze your head now. Pops his freaking head. His eyeball flies out and does 3D at the camera. And then the final death of the movie, because we're not counting Jason, we know he's not dead. Final death of the movie, number 12, actually, so 2 more kills in this movie, was Ali, who he got hacked up with a machete. Okay, final grades. Story, A+. It's got backstory, it's way deeper than the last 2. I loved it. Sound design, it's getting an A+, because it's back to sounding how it should. The music is a score now, like it's epic levels of horror movie music. It's perfect. Atmosphere, B+, going down a grade because it's the exact same thing as the last one, like virtually no change. They even have a special different kind of person that gets killed. Wheelchair person, pregnant person. Watchability, it's getting an A because it's aged very well. I've actually watched this one, I think, almost the most of any of them that I've watched. The tone, it's getting an A, more of the same, but fun. And overall, I'm going to give it an A+. It's a certified classic. Watch it right now. It's better than the second one, and it's way better than the first one. As far as I've heard, it's been a very long time since I've watched these. The fourth one's going to be even better. For all of us here at All of Us Productions, thank you for watching. Come back tomorrow. We'll be doing Friday the 13th, Part 4. It's going to be crazy. Corey Feldman's in it. See you tomorrow.